Hello everyone, welcome to my stamping studio. I am Lisa Fulford. I'm going to be your creative coach for today, and I have a fun product that will be available the first part of July, and I'm thinking it will be on July 1st. Pretty certain it's July 1st, but it's this lovely Stampin' Cut and Emboss embossing folder. And it's a 3D enfolder, and it's the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. And when you look at the paper, it's like, it's all right. But whenever you use the embossing folder and see what it looks like in person, it is gorgeous. This is pretty to me. I like sunflowers, but some people overlook it because they just don't see that, the potential in this embossing folder. But then when they start seeing samples using this embossing folder, then they get really excited about the product. So I am going to show you the actual embossing folder. If I can put this behind it. I don't know which is best. Anyway, I'll just hold it like this. There's some glare, but look how gorgeous. So when you put it together, this doesn't look as impressive as the actual folder itself. And then when you emboss it, it's even better. So I'm going to show you a couple cards. I'm going to move this now. I've been playing with this embossing folder, and this was going to be my Make It Monday, but when I got to playing with it, I decided I was going to combine Make It Monday with Technique Tuesday, so I held it over for today. So this one here is one that I did watercoloring on. I put Daffodil Delight, and then I put a little bit of, I can't even remember what color I used, but it was a little bit different color. I can't even remember. Oh, I wish I could remember. But I like the way that it looked, but it kind of almost looks like a mauve instead of a brown. And then I painted it on, but I used Wink Stella. I brushed everything with Wink Stella first, and then I watercolored it. I don't like the way the leaves turned out. They just seemed mucky to me. But it was pretty. I made a hello. It'll be a nice card that somebody will receive. And I used a little bit of twine to put around it just to give it a little bit more, it needed something else. So there's that. Then I decided, well, what about Stampin' Blends? And so this is Lemon Lolly, and it's the light, and then I brush some of the dark on for the little veins in the flowers. And then this is Pecan Pie for those. And then I did use, I believe it might have been Granny Apple, but I'm not 100% certain about that. So I'm going to try a different color today. And then this is Light Pool Party in the background. And then I used some early espresso for the sentiment. And then I just used a piece of that little twine to just give it a little something else. So between the two, they're both pretty, but I like this one better. And then, so this is the one I'm going to create now. And then I have a few more ideas for future videos. And then I did see somebody do a technique that I've done in the past. They did it with this one. And so I will demonstrate that in a week or so. But I just want to give you guys some really fun projects that you can do with this folder. So you can order it. I believe it's July 1st. And then when you get it in, you could make a few products with it and already have some ideas. So I'm going to lay this card over here. And I've got, we'll set this off the side. I've got a lemon lolly base. That's what I used with that. And then I have a piece of just scrap for sentiment. And then this is our cinnamon cider. And it is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Okay. So I'll scoot that under here for now. And then I'm going to emboss this on camera. And then just show how gorgeous this is. So let me grab my machine. I'll try to make it where you can see everything. There we go. I think that's good. So how I'm going to do this is bring in my plate, a number 1. So here's the number 1. And these are the instructions that tell how to build your sandwich. So this one is using a 3D embossing folder. So it's going to be a number 1 and a number 4. So I'm going to open this up. And this is just a half a sheet of basic white. And what I did was I just cut it completely in half. Used half of it for those 2 cards. I'm trying to get as much of the sunflowers on here as I can. We're going to have a little bit that's, so I just put it in there all the way. The sunflowers go clear down to here, and then there'll be a stripe up there and a stripe at the bottom that does not have any stamping on it. It'll just be a straight piece. I could have made it wider, but I wanted to be able to use just a half a sheet. Okay, so I need to get it to get started. Push the folder back a little bit. There we go. You put the seam in first. Once it gets going, there we go. You put the seam in first. You could spritz it with water. But I did not. I didn't spritz it with anything. I just made it go through. Wait till you see this gorgeous piece of cardstock. Look how beautiful that is. Now compare it to this. When you see this, it'd be like, oh, okay. When you see this, isn't that just gorgeous? I just love it. So, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. That way I'm not messing up the piece for another card. So my piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4. I think that will be all right. I got 2 out of the last one. Wait a minute, let's see. Just don't want to cut all that off. So I'm going to do the 4 3/4 this way. Whoops. See how much gets left. This one can be a 3.5 piece. So. And then let's see. And then do 3.5 here. I'm going to take just that little bit off because of that edge. It's kind of that what didn't trim. See how this edge is? That one had it too. Now then I will do 3.5. Yep, that works. Okay. I just wanted to get that big sunflower, but then I was trying to figure out which way I needed to go to make that work. And so I've got a couple pieces here that I can use for other things. I think that I actually used this piece for there, but I'm going to try a different one. All right, so I have a few colors here. I don't know if I want to do the light, let's see, soft sea foam or not, but I do know I want to do this for the background, this for the petals, and I'll use these for the inside. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to work on some leaves. This is a light old olive. And I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can. That petal, that is not working. Brush. Well, I'm going to try to use it. The tip of it doesn't want to work. Some of mine are starting to dry up, but I've had them for years. And so I've been trying my best to go through them and order new. Doesn't always happen. That's one leaf. Trying to be as easy as I can. I like how this dries a little bit lighter than the other one did. I was surprised because I would think the old olive would be darker than Granny Apple. Uh-oh. How am I going to do that one? There we go. Two edges here. So you just got to take your time. Like that. See a little bit here that I didn't finish. And once you add some color to it, you can then see where you still need to add. This is not a really quick card by no means, but it's a gorgeous card. All right, so go from there. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and do centers. Just trying to get to the edge of this. I did leave a little bit of white so that it kind of outlined things. I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. Some of this goes fairly quick. Some of it does not. Then once you get so far, then you can see if you miss something else, like if I missed a leaf as you're filling things in, then you can definitely tell. And I just rotate my paper to give me the chance to get at a different angle so that I can gingerly get in those little grooves. I'm just trying to brush lightly. I don't want to get too eager because then I'll mess it up. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'll come in a little bit darker one. I'll do the center. Same way here. There. And I think I used just the dark smoky slate. And I think I went over these little the little nubby things around the center just to give it more definition. This one here, it's hard to see it. There we go. So far, that's looking all right. Now I am going to grab a collar lifter right here. I went over and I didn't really want that. All right. So now then it's time for the lemon lolly. This one goes fairly quick. You don't have to cover every bit of the petal. If you get into the brown, that doesn't matter because it's a darker color. And I'm brushing with the petals so that it, not that it streaks, but so that it looks like it's growing out of that flower. Just kind of pulling on as much as I can. So you can see it coming together. The green and that brown takes the cinnamon cider and the old olive takes the most. So this goes pretty quick because we're just painting it on. And it dries a little bit lighter, and I like that. I've been working in my garden a lot, and I have all kinds of daisies and like English daisies and Shasta daisies. And I have one that's called Banana Cream, and it's a Shasta daisy. And so I thought, well, this is kind of like what that flower looks like. This little bit paler yellow than what a normal sunflower would be. And with all the little cracks in the paper where we went through that embossing folder and we did not spritz it with anything, it takes a little bit more of the alcohol, and so there's a little bit of darker areas. And I kind of like that. But I think this embossing folder has a large impact. It's so pretty. I was so excited to be able to order it, and it just came yesterday or the day before, and I've been playing with it because I just find it to be adorable. Got a little bit more here. Almost finished and ready to do the background. Now you could just leave it like that without anything on the background, but I really like the blue and I think it makes that yellow pop. So I'm going to come through with some of the blue. I'm going to use this light pool party. I'm just going to start adding. I'm really going to just kind of outline. Then I can come back and fill in. But I also have my color lifter nearby because I just got up on that flower. I can come back and I can add that color back in. See the difference in that little bit of blue? And there's not that much blue for or area to add blue to. I just go around and outline. Kind of looks like a summer sky. I should have done one of these and had part of it finished, but that's so pretty, right? And those little bitty spots, it's really intimidating to me, but it's easy to do because with these fine tips on these markers, and it makes it so easy to get in those little areas. So if you don't have alcohol markers, you need to try them. They're gorgeous. They're fun. They're fairly easy to use. And just because it's, you know, they've come in light and dark does not mean that's how you need to use them. You could use Lemon Lolly and Daffodil Delight together. They don't have to be the color family that it states, like, you know, the light and the dark. once you do the outline, it's easier just to fill it all in. Just like whenever you were a kid and they taught you to color. I taught my kids and the kids that I taught in preschool to outline first and then fill in. Look how pretty that is. All right, so I'm looking to see if I colored something in that shouldn't have been. I do see right here that leaf went farther up, but while it was not colored, I could not see that. So here we go. There we go. I think that's not pretty. It just really changes the look of it with putting that blue behind it. All right, so now I'm going to grab, this is one of my favorite tricks, is putting Wink of Stella in, put the cap on the wrong one. Putting Wink of Stella in a spritzer bottle, like 5-6 drops, and then filling it up the rest of the way with alcohol, and it's just rubbing alcohol. And then it sits at the bottom, so you have to really shake it, get it all mixed up, and then that gives you a glimmer spritz. So here is what it looks like. Let's see. Oh, light on. Here's what it looks like. There's no glimmer to it, but watch. And see, I left some white, so it kind of highlights it a little bit. But when I spritz it, you'll see that it gets really bold, and then as it dries, it's not quite as bold. See how dark those colors got? But then, see all that shimmer on there? It's all sparkly. How wet, you can tell I spritzed it pretty well. All right. Just makes me happy. It's so pretty. So we're going to take our pieces and we're going to start adding them. Oh, I bent my corner. I'm going to use Luca glue. Last time that I worked with this, I used Stampin' Seal Plus because, you know, it should hold quite well. It kept tearing on my paper. Whether I did it with watercoloring or I did the alcohol. Whoops, that is way too much. Did you know that these glue, green glues, have a thing on the other end where if you do that, you can spread it all out and not have it all gooped together like that. Or you can also squeeze the glue out this end, but I don't think I can control it as well. Just trying to get that all over. All right. So yeah, if you do put too much down, like that one had a clog in it, then you just use the other end of it and move it around. I like to do mine in a portrait so I get a little bit better feel as to what my border is going to be around it. There we go. That looks pretty good. And add that to my card. I could use dimensionals, but this has such a big pop to it that I think I'm just going to glue it down. There, that's better. Control on the glue. Remember, that's a 4 7/8 by 3 5/8 layer with a 4 3/4 by 5 1/2 image on the front. There we go. I think I might need to add just a bit of lemon lolly there. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Was this little bit of darker. Right here in the centers of the petals. As it dries, it should dry a little lighter. And if it doesn't, then you just come back in with the lemon lolly. Just kind of brush over it to fill that in. Kind of blend it out. Got that step. Then we'll look at it here shortly. It'll be blended in better. All right, so we're going to set this off to the side with the original. We're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to grab my early espresso. I know that that is apple cider, I believe. Not apple cider. Cinnamon cider. Is that right? Pecan pie. Oh my golly. Not even close. I know that's what this is. This is pecan pie. This is early espresso. Man, I'm confusing myself today. And then we're going to use out of the stamp set. Where did it go? It's one of the new ones. This one, the flower celebration, a cone flower celebration. I have a lot of cone flowers. It's your day. That's what I'm going to use. Stamp this down here. And I think instead of making it a square one, I think I'm going to fussy cut it out. Let's see, I've got my scissors here. And that shouldn't take very long because it's not a very big piece. I could have used a shape or something, but it doesn't take that long. And notice I'm just moving my paper around. I am opening and closing my scissors, but I'm not twisting my scissors. I'm keeping them fairly close, and so that is how you cut a very nice fussy cut it. So now the last one I just glued on, but I think I'm going to use dimensionals and pop this up. If I can. So put one up there. I better cut it in half here. I'll put one down here. I don't think I could get a whole one in, so we'll just do it like that. take this backing. This card, this here embossing folder is just so cute. Hope you love it as much as I do, because it's adorable. So I could put that, I think I could put that right down here. It's shorty. I think I'll add a bow like I did on the other one. I don't know if this is still available or not. I just left this twine, this baker's twine. Here, I'll do it the other way. It's fairly easy to use. Hold the knot once you make your bow and you pull your ends. Tighten it. Hold that knot, pull it in again. You can make whatever size bow you want. Get my glue dots here. I'm just going to roll that around. Try to make it as small as I can. Where am I going to put this bow? I'll put it right over here in that blue background. There we go. It's your day. So there's with a square embellishment. Here's with it. Fussy cut it out. And with the background. Now this one here, I added green underneath, thinking, okay, that would make it look more, I don't know. And so I kind of like this color of green. This one here, it was all right, but I like the different colors because it makes the sunflowers pop. Let's see, can you see that? See how pretty that turned out? And that blue just makes it pop. So here's one without the back being blue. And this one here is, I used a water aqua brush and our inks to color it. There we go. So this one I think turned out so pretty. And so I hope you will give this a try. Now I did go a little bit heavier here. And like I said, if it's still too dark, I can take my light lemon lolly. I can like brush that out. There we go. And as it dries, it'll blend that together. I hope you'll give this embossing folder some love, because it is so adorable and it is so dynamic and bold that you can make all kinds of cards with it. And I plan on bringing a few more ideas on like how to use it, using our inks and different things, using some negative of it. You could do it in a square card. You can do it in a regular card. Now, I decided to cut mine down so I could get 2 out of 1 sheet. And, but I just find it to be adorable. This one here is just a little bit different, even though this flower and these 2 are similar. I do believe that these are the same flowers here, just in a different orientation. Or maybe not. I don't know. So, but this is just, I don't know if you can see all the detail in it. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's like really rough because it's so dynamic. So that is the embossing folder. That is the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. So I hope you'll check that out on July 1st and give that a try with just to make some gorgeous cards. You don't have to add as much color to it. You could have it as a white background So you could have this, put it on a card, and just add a sentiment to that. That would be gorgeous. There's a couple other ideas that I have for some of these larger sunflowers, so you'll have to tune in for some other cards in the near future to see what I come up with. So thank you so much for joining me and stamping along with me for a while, spending some time with me. And so until next time, happy stamping.